Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome, Iris. We're back for some more Nordschleife racing, and there is the potential for rain this week. I did a little silly. I misread the server settings. I thought we were guaranteed rain, but no. Apparently, it's only a possibility. So hopefully, that possibility does come true. Um, it wouldn't be helpful for us position-wise. The Porsche Cup will probably struggle a little more compared to the GT3s, but it would be good fun. And you never know with everyone else; they may struggle as well. Oh yes, as I had said, welcome Iris to the stream. Let's get. Oh, I just remembered something. Oh, that doesn't work, does it? I go like 2 weeks without streaming and I forget everything and I never remember it again. Let me see if I can fix this. No, I need to do a quick restart of ACC. Oh, no, no, it's working actually. Yay! So with that, we could switch on over. Hello, welcome. Tab back into the game, yes, as just seeing about setup. We've got a very green track, as you can see in the top right. With more variable weather conditions, obviously the game has considered it to be raining in the not too distant past. And with that, just remembered I didn't turn my wheel on, so that probably will be a game restart. Yeah, I have to restart game. One moment. While I do this, we'll just switch back. Yeah, just switch back to that, that's easiest. Get the game restarted, because I'm silly. Oh yeah, steering definitely overrated. Don't need it at all for the 160 odd corners that make up the Nordschleife. Hopefully, even with having to leave and rejoin, we still get, hopefully we get a decent spot still on the, in the pit lane. Will be quite handy. Oh no, yeah, it's put back at the end of the pit lane. I'll have to reload setup and just go through that little bit of setup again. But with that done, we can get out on track. And I'm actually going to do something quickly. Options HUD. Turn that off. Because I'm not a fan of having that that element on. Just makes the HUD a little bit too cluttered. Welcome, Emmy. We're just going out for a few practice laps. I suppose we'll get an indication of how fast the track will evolve. Can see it's already gone to fast, so it'll be interesting to see when it switches over to optimum. Sun still low in the sky. Head up to the chicane for the first time. A little trickier to spot the apexes with the sun. Very easy. It's very easy to overshoot that left-hander that brings you onto the Nordschleife. Just with the lack of grip currently on the track. And the compromised car setup for all the bumps and the jump around it. Check. 23 degrees is on the cooler end of what we've had so far for these races.
There's a slow car ahead. Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
Sun poking out through the trees. I'm quite a fan of the conditions, the lighting when you've got the sun low in the sky like this. And you've just got shadows sprawled across the track and the environment. Which won't be too much of a surprise to hear if you've been watching the first-person rallies on Beam.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
Spending moments with the sun right in your eyes, struggling to see, and in other moments you're in the darkness of the shadows. There is no better time to go racing than during sunset or sunrise. It is quite intense. This would be very difficult conditions to pick a visor for. Of course, for the sun, you'd be wanting a really dark visor to try and block it out. It's so bright, as you say, Iris. But in this shadow, it's not that bright. You know, if you have a dark visor, you'd be struggling to even see anything. Which is a big challenge. But it's good to try and get used to this sun now in this practice session, as we'll have to deal with it for qualifying and the race. So yep, get used to it. Not unless it gets really cloudy, which it could do, of course. If it is terrain, there does need to be clouds. Car was very nice over the crest and the jump there. Bit of understeer there coming onto the straight. Track still at fast. Looks like struggling a little bit for tire temperature. Tires seem to be a little cold, despite the fact they're nicely in the pressure range. Pretty sure the car got a bit of air coming into that chicane. Actually, going to save the replay, see if I can find that for a thumbnail. But remember, try not to hit that wall on the right hand side coming into the first corner of the Nordschleife. I did that a couple of times last week. Welcome, Geeky. Good evening to you too. We're just doing a few practice laps before qualifying for tonight. Good cooperation there from the GT4 BMW. No, quali is set to start by 22.8. UK time, that is, I should say. That's quite an awkward bounce off of the curb. Lucky to not fall into the grass and end up in the wall. Adjusting from having the sun in your eyes there to then what feels like complete darkness through that section is a little bit tricky, does catch you off guard. There is 10 minutes left of practice. Of course, we've got to remember everyone is allowed to complete a lap if they've already started a lap and it is still valid. So that can be up to 9.5 more minutes of waiting. Unfortunately. Catching this McLaren in an awkward place. It's just playing it patiently, but I think they slowed down to try and let us through. This track is a bit annoying when it comes to that multi-class rule. If you don't know, the usual rules are that slower classes must stay predictable by sticking to the racing line and not doing anything different than they would do on any normal lap. And it's usually as the faster car has either grip or straight line speed to be able to get around the slower car. And the bigger the difference is in pace, the more dangerous it can be should a car make a move that isn't predictable. Can end up for two cars going for the same spot and causing a big crash. So, but here at the Nordschleife it can be so difficult to pass. You've got constant cornering. Like through this section here, it's quite difficult to get overtake done. So you do need a bit of cooperation from the other car. but they still have to do it in a sensible and somewhat predictable manner, in a safe manner especially. So for those that were around last week, you may remember our qualifying time was a 8:28.7. So that'll be our goal to beat today if we get a dry qualifying session. Race time, I think we did it 8:29. So that's sort of the time that we're aiming, trying to get as close to as we can here. Gonna be a little bit slower than that, obviously the slower track conditions not helping. An 8:35.1, that's not too bad. Let's see if we can improve upon that though. This lap. An alright start to the lap, a few times gained through the first couple of corners. An alright start to the Nordschleife. By matching our previous lap. This will be our final complete lap before qualifying. few attempts through that section. Nearly a second up on our Delta now. And a little wide there, but we'll get away with it. Back into the sun. Quite a bit of understeer there. I have done a bit of pit practice off stream. But we got the pits pretty good last time round. Yeah, we did lose a bit of time behind the GT4 there last lap. So we'll pick up about 1.5 seconds. After that, way too quick. That's lost us a good 1.5 seconds that we've gained. Laps getting quite messy. Car turned in much better that time than on previous laps. So 1.2 seconds up on our Delta now as we come on to the back straight. Definitely still another couple of seconds in there, so we could have got a 31 I feel like on that lap had I just put it together, which is quite good considering track is still fast. And of course we're heavy on race fuel. see 833.8. That could have been a 831 easily. And there's nothing stopping us from doing a partial in-lap here. Very messy so far through this Grand Prix loop. I think I'm just gonna just pull into the pits and take a little break, relax a little bit for the end of practice before quali. Let's just see where our pit box is. I think I went past it since. Yeah, because we're right towards the start. Let's just try and see if I do. Yeah, looks like we are the very first pit box. Which isn't ideal for qualifying, but we will have to deal with that. One thing I do want to do with these temperatures is take another 3 clicks out of those tires. They were getting quite high pressured. Don't go much slower than that, otherwise they'll start getting under the threshold. I think that should be enough fuel for the race, 75 litres. With, let's say, round up to 9.5 litres a lap. That's with 8 laps. Well, we can take the 0.5 times that by 8. That's 4. So 4 under the 80 litres, 76, and we'll take a litre at the pit stop. We'll set the tyre pressures just in case we do take new tyres, but we'll see if we can get the strategy to work this time. Whether it be mistakes for myself in the first week, getting taken out unfortunately in last week. Hopefully we can get this strategy to work now. We're just waiting on 4 cars as they're heading round the, well, I was going to say final sector, I'm not sure. There's a lot of sector markers on the track map. Oh, there we go. Ticked over now.
Green light. Go, go, go.
740, just as I said. But we'll wait a few minutes to let people go out and set. Start heading round so we don't get caught in traffic. So people going round for start their flying laps. You can see the Grand Prix part of the track very busy. We do have 55 sign-ups for tonight. So far 41 have turned up. Maybe we'll get a couple more during the qualifying session. OBS is being a little bit buggy today. Not with the stream itself, just with some of the windows on it. Tried to close chat on me, which isn't ideal. So 4 minutes into the session now, track should be starting to clear up a bit. Probably about 3 laps of fuel, so we'll take that. Track is still fast.
No tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
A few people still sitting here in pit lane. So now we have the challenge of getting tyres up to temperature before we start our first flying lap. Still, unfortunately, no rain. The car should be a little more responsive now that we've taken about 50 litres of fuel out. Looks like Kunos have added some sneaky barriers behind those polystyrene boards. You can just see in the gaps of the polystyrene boards, they have the arrows for you, pointing you in the right direction. You can see the sort of orange plastic barriers behind them. And if you know ACC, you'll know they are very much solid. They feature in some places such as the Watkins Glen bus stop chicane. They're certainly very deadly there. Have claimed many a victim. Rear end did a lot of sliding there out of the chicane. Really did not want to be tamed. Just hoping this Nissan behind us doesn't catch up during this lap. Would be a bit awkward for both of us. We should have enough of a gap to the GT4s in front. But that does mean it will be difficult to go for a second lap without getting traffic, so we'll need to make this one count. Feels like a good lap so far, but always hard to tell when you don't have a delta. A little wide of the apex through that left-hander, but didn't run it wide onto the grass this time. Got a little too friendly with the apex there. Nissan is closing in behind us, and we're also catching this mark up ahead annoyingly. Could be more aggressive on the brakes there, but rather be a little bit cautious than running deep and invalidating the lap. Looks like a mistake for the mark, which should give us a clean air till the end of the lap, thankfully. I was a little cautious through that quick left-hander. And it certainly paid off, given the circumstances. Oh, that was very close. A little bit annoying not to get the apex on the left, but we won't lose too much time from it. On to the straight then. GT4 by 5 seconds up the road. If we're lucky, we might be able to pass them down the start finish straight, which would be just about perfect, as good as things could go here. We do also have that Nissan behind us. They're unfortunately just not close enough to get past us before this section. Just about getting the GT4 into turn 1. That will have barely cost either of us any time. And we take that 1 second advantage from having the run up. Four tenths slower that lap than we were last week. Track is now optimum. We'll definitely be able to get those 4 tenths. We already have them. As long as we don't make a mistake and drop them off again. Try not to invalidate the lap either. Did overfuel the car a little bit for this run. Yeah, just really on the turn in there, understeered off. And annoying because 2 seconds up, which we've been quite good. Yeah, we've got a couple of positions. Should be enough fuel for another run. We will have to try and make sure we don't impede anyone coming off the final corner. So that is an awkward part of going out at this stage of the session, but all we can do is try. Don't know who they're waiting for, but if they're letting us through, then we'll take that. There was only a GT4 behind us, so not much point letting them through just to be quicker than them and have them hold us up. Even with these cool tires, we should be able to drive away from GT4. Sun continuing to rise. Going that GT4, I think they just came out of the pits. I see a couple of corners there, but a good start to the lap so far anyway. Still picking up time. So we do have an empty Cup car not too far in front of us. Yeah, and we're going to catch them at a very awkward point. We'll get past on that little short shoot between those two corners, but they cost us about over 1.5 seconds there. Though we're not too far off of our delta. We can definitely make that time back through the rest of the lap. 1 second will get us up 2 positions. As it currently stands, of course, that will probably change throughout the remainder of the qualifying session. Very good run through that quick left-hander. Meant as little too late under braking for the hairpin. Very aggressive over that curb on the apex there. Got to the apex that time. Thought it was a little bit deep there, but still got the car slowed down and turned in for the right-hander. Didn't take a big munch of the apex curb there that time. So that leaves us a couple of tenths up now. Sun becoming more prominent in a couple of places around the track as it continues to rise. Get a few more tenths there just by being more aggressive on the brakes. Coming up to another GT4 though. As we approach another technical section of the track. A little more aggressive through that quick left-hander this time. Did spin the wheels to oblivion on the exit of that right-hander. A little cautious through the carousel, dropped a couple of tenths. We're going to lose more time as we come up to this GT4. Yeah, not close enough to go for a move there, so we'll just have to sit and be patient and get a good run through there to get a move done. Sending down the inside there was a little risky, but had to be done. So now a few tenths down on our delta again from that traffic. Getting those couple of tenths back from not having to avoid a crashing GT4 there. So now about 4 tenths up as we head down the straight. Won't gain us position unless we can gain a little bit more time through the final few corners. But main thing is we'll get to start one final lap here. And hopefully we can gain another couple of seconds that we had left on the table through traffic on that lap. Messed up that braking zone. There's a bump right in the middle of it that can very easily throw the car off, and just didn't get the car settled down enough for it. But we'll go for another lap. We'll gain the second from having the quicker run out of the final corner, from not taking the shortcut. Looks like we're clear of any lower class traffic for this lap. So we've got a good opportunity here. Nearly get to that 2-second mark on the delta once again. Over 2.5 seconds up now. Little wide through the right-hander there, which compromised a run through the left-hander. A few more positions on offer if we do get this lap done. It'll be at least 3 positions with the current time. Dropped a couple of tenths through there, just wasn't as clean as previous lap. Just mispositioned the car again through that triple right-hander, and then had a little lock-up. in that downhill braking. Again, picking up the time by being a bit more aggressive on the brakes there. Nearly 3 seconds up once again. Good run through there does get us over the 3 second mark on the Delta. A little bit risky there over the grass, but we have gained a little bit of time. Nearly 3.5 seconds up now. Losing a second just from clipping that apex curb. I feel like that's the best run we've had onto this straight so far. Nearly 3 seconds up again on our Delta. See there, welcome Ran. Good to see you. Looks like though you need to update your YouTube name. But yeah, good to see you. So with this time we're gaining at least 3 positions, as long as we don't mess it up into this final few corners. Very tough braking zone with the bumps as we've seen. A little bit deep on the bumps there. Cost us a 10th it looks like, but on the run to the line that will put us, yeah, P15. But a second away from the next position. So we maybe could have got 14th there, had not been for that mistake. But yeah, there's a good lap. That what was it in the end? There's a 2:26.5. So that'll now be our new fastest lap. Yeah, this is the end of quali. So we're about to go into an hour-long race. Just have one more car, this 24 McLaren GT3. Again, quite a few people failing to set lap times. Number 10 just getting a lap in there. It looks like they might have made a mistake to finish the lap off. But they got a time in, which will put them ahead of the GT4s, which is quite crucial for them. As you can see, all these cars down here, they're going to have to get past those. They're going to have to get past the GT4s at the start of the race. Let's watch the McLaren through the final few braking zones. Looks like they're just trying to avoid the bumps through that final section, even if it means they can't. They haven't sort of tightened the chicane up. They'll finish off P6 very close there between 4th and 5th, only a couple of hundredths, despite the 8-minute lap time. And 8:13 taking pole position. Unfortunately, with that qualifying, we do have the outside into turn 1, which could be a little troublesome. We'll put the fuel back in the car, and that is us ready to go. We get 8 laps in an hour. We were just able to start the 8th lap with about a minute or two to spare on the clock. Even with the mandatory pit stop. So yeah, it's a long stint. Well, we can do some maths. So 3 divided by. Well, hang on a second. Let me just do the. Yeah, so 480. They're doing about 815s at the front, so by 495. Yeah, so we just get into the 7th.
20 seconds.
Just finished 7th lap by a minute there. Oh, was nearly 1 liter short on the fuel.
10 seconds.
Back out of the menu. Get the car started.
Go in double file.
A couple of cars starting from pit lane.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Thank you, Ran.
Green line, go, go, go.
Really good start, but just having to make sure we didn't drive into the BMW.
Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right.
turn one.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Try and be a little aggressive. Want to try and fight this BMW on our outside, but
Car on
can't
the
really
right.
go much more
Clear on the right.
forwards with the red BMW in front of us. Just a little pack of BMWs at the moment. Car spun on the inside. BMW did leave us
Clear on the
space.
left. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Don't quite have the downforce to challenge the GT3s through those high-speed corners. Red BMW does seem to be struggling a bit.
Car on the right.
But we've
Clear on the right.
pushed them into a mistake. Not literally, but just under pressure. Side by side into the chicane. Hopefully they didn't take anyone else out further behind us.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
McLaren just getting through. Heading off that curb.
This is now.
1 second of damage from that turn one
Car ahead.
contact, which isn't too bad. Nissan has had an issue, so that's another place for us. That's another car getting into the grass.
Car on the left. Clear on the
Oh, leave us space, come on. No wonder they went off the track if they have that little awareness.
slow car ahead.
That McLaren's unfortunately been spun by that BMW, so it looks like we've got two clumsy BMW drivers in front of us. Who knows, maybe they'll take each other out. We do also have this Nissan that had an issue back on our tail. Lucky not to get much more damage from that tap with the BMW. Something BMW drivers, yeah. That Nissan does have a little more straight line speed than us, but it's going to be a little sketchy to make a move here. You can see with the damage the BMW has in front of us. just not having a straight line speed. But very difficult to go for a move this part of the track. Welcome back, Emmy. Oh, a little bit of understeer there.
Clear on the left. Car on the left.
Gonna try and fight this Nissan, but it's gonna be tough just not having the downforce that it has. And I have to concede that position. But a good move there from the Nissan, has to be said. Still got a 2.5 second gap to now a Ferrari behind. Then a 9 second gap to the Ferrari behind that. So it hasn't been too bad of a lap one, has to be said. Just realised I probably should have added an extra litre of fuel for the drive from the dummy grid to the start line. A little bit deep in that left-hander. But still seem to be pulling a gap on the Ferrari behind. Gap's opened up to about 3 seconds. Someone stepped a couple of wheels into the grass up ahead. They seem to have got away with it. Number 51 Ferrari has closed in. They were 9 seconds, now 7.5. Fortunately, not close to anyone enough to get a slipstream. Let's try not to. Oh, and that is a Bentley that has been spun. And an interesting note there from the game, we didn't get a yellow flag on the HUD, but we did see the yellow flag being waved by the marshal. As we see, that yellow BMW has lost both positions to the black and red BMW and the Nissan. So we'll see if we're quick enough to maybe I think it'll be difficult to close in on that BMW even with the damage they have. They seem to be mainly losing in straight line speed. But they're good. They're just close enough to get toe off of the two cars in front of them, so but it does look like they're falling out of that toe now, which might help us close up. BMW seem to be just a little bit wide there. And they're wide again there. So they're definitely pushing despite the damage that they have. Just about keeping it on the track there. Nearly fell to the same fate that the yellow BMW did last lap, of getting on the grass and just not being able to slow the car down before hitting the wall. Gap seems to be sort of stable, at least around this part of the track. To both BMWs in front, you could say. Have opened up the gap a little bit to the Ferrari behind, but the Ferrari behind them is still closing in. Number 51, that is. It'll be interesting to see if these BMWs in front repair their damage. It will of course cost them time in the pits, but will certainly be beneficial to them when they get back on track. But it doesn't look like that BMW, the yellow one there, will have a decision to make as they've pulled off to RTG. Meanwhile, behind us, the 51 Ferrari has gone ahead of the 36 and is now leading a train of 3 Ferraris.
Yellow flag is watch out in front.
Quite an awkward spot to be spun for the Honda. That gets us another position up into 10th overall. So it looks like the Ferrari behind us will catch. Also looks like the number 14 Ferrari has gone past the 36 as well. So that looks like that's going to be 2 Ferraris trying to hunt us down. Yeah, since that yellow BMW pulled off, we haven't quite been able to keep up with the other cars in front of us. Just a little too aggressive into the mini carousel there.
Slow car ahead.
Struggling with a little bit of understeer, but that's another crashed car, the 28 McLaren. Puts us up into P9, it's still saying P10. Yeah, looks like the McLaren has RTG'd back to pit lane, so temporarily slightly glitching out the timing relative, but should correct itself once we pass the start finish line. Looks like we're catching up to a couple of cars in front that I've got involved in that incident. So first racing lap's an 8:30.6, that's a decent time. A bit of fighting up ahead, and looks like one of the Ferraris behind us dove to pit lane for their mandatory pit stop. Seems like we've closed up a bit up on the number 2 BMW and the number 5 Ferrari from them fighting a little bit, but we still have that 51 Ferrari behind us closing in. Also have a car crashed on the long straight. I hope they were assisted into that one, otherwise it'd be a bit embarrassing. Just matching our previous lap time on our Delta. We don't really want to be pushing for more in case we do make a mistake. And there's the first penalty for speeding in pit lane today. Now, it'll be a crucial move here for the 51 Ferrari. They're, of course, fighting the number 14, which went for their mandatory pit stop. So they don't want to lose any extra time behind us. as it could cost them that position when they do make their pit stop. See the Ferrari starting to encroach on our radar. Getting about half a second through that section. Doesn't look like the Ferrari has good straight line speed. We've pulled a little bit away from them in this flat out section. But they'll close back in again through these couple of high speed corners. BMW make a mistake there, falling out of the carousel. Allows us to close in quite substantially. Porsche seems to be quite good through the carousel, maybe just managing the bumps a little bit better. This is where we really lose out to the GT3 cars. They just have more grip than us. But we're holding our own. Just losing the rear end through there. Allows the Ferrari through a little bit of door banging. So tried to come off the curb. That cost us 2 seconds of damage, which is quite surprising. It did not seem like that heavy of a hit. We can see the straight line speed we have on this Ferrari. Just not quite close enough for any slipstream off the BMW, and we're going to get this place right back. He's easy enough. We're gaining on the BMW as well. We're just not going to be close enough for a move here. BMW's going to head for pit lane. We're going to continue round. Just covering off any cutback potential from the Ferrari.
There's a slow car up ahead.
I'm surprised the Ferrari didn't pit as well. Because this fighting is, and having to follow me through these corners is only going to help the number 14 Ferrari that pitted over a lap ago now. Just gotta hope that the Ferrari doesn't go for any stupid moves from getting impatient. David GT4 car up ahead though. Get past them easily. Ferrari has run from carrying more momentum through that fast right-hander, then just momentum fades away. That was quite an optimistic dive. Even I struggled to make the braking. But there wasn't any contact, which is the main thing. So it was a fair attempt. And in all honesty, I don't blame them for trying. You don't get many attempts around here. Especially when you struggle for straight line speed over your competitor. But again, let's just hope that doesn't cause further impatience or frustration for them, and we see a more desperate move later on. They're sort of a little mistake, they're just running slightly wide. Car is quite the handful, and with the tyres just starting to wear, becoming very easy to make mistakes like that. You can see the number 14 Ferrari in our relative now. Only 30 seconds back. That almost guarantees that the Ferrari in front of us has lost that position. Let's start to close in, but there's no point of us making a pass here. It'd just be extremely risky through these corners. And the Ferrari's going to be quicker than us anyway through these high-speed corners. Yeah, Ferrari does look a bit bruised, a bit battered up. And judging by its lack of straight line speed, that's probably because they've got quite a bit of damage. So we could get the position back if they decide to repair that damage. See the Ferrari just pulling a bit of a gap through the technical section of the lap here. I did notice after the Ferrari got past, our delta was about 2 seconds. And it is still about 2 seconds now, so we've been matching our delta, if not slightly improving upon it, since the Ferrari got past us. Another poor run through the mini carousel there. As I just noticed, welcome Slash Raptor to the race. Just catching up on the straight. Not many opportunities to reach that without the potential of making a mistake and throwing the car off. Like I'm not sure closing in on this Ferrari. We would have been close enough to get side by side, but there'd be no point, just as there was earlier. Ferrari is going to go to pit lane. We're going to continue on for another couple of laps since we're not changing tyres. That's going to save us about 26 seconds. Struggling to get the car slowed down there. Well, it should save us 27 seconds, but with our damage it'll only save us about 24. Might have to take a second liter of fuel just to be safe. As we see a second penalty pop up for speeding in pit lane. That's one for the cars behind us, number 10 McLaren. So that will be a free position for us, as with where they currently are on track, we would drop behind them when we make our pit stop, but that 30-second stop go penalty will easily cover it off. Easily cover our pit stop off. I might pit at the end of this lap, though, just because those that have made their pit stops are starting to catch back up to us. And I don't really want to have to deal with those cars trying to pass us. Bit of a poor start to this lap. Already a second down on our Delta. Maybe just tires starting to wear. Car does feel a bit slidier now than it did in the opening laps, despite the fuel burn. The Porsche Cup car is one of the more fuel efficient cars in the game, so it does struggle a little bit more with tyre wear than your GT3s would. Well, it's like, ooh, we have an instant for cars up ahead. Well, it looks like it's just a lapped GT4 involved. But of course, as the cars burn fuel, they do technically get faster, but the tyre wear mitigates that. As the fuel burn is slower on the Porsche, it doesn't gain as much. Well, the tyre wear just, the pace drops off with the tyre wear faster than you gain pace with fuel burn. That's really what I'm trying to say. Certainly a poor way of phrasing it. Well, that's the best my brain can come up with as I continue to lap here. In our own little pocket of clean air as the different pit stop strategies play out. Sun continuing to rise, but continuing to impair our vision around the track. I've gained a little bit of time in the opening part of the Nordschleife, down to only, we're up to half a second down on our Delta compared to the second we were coming on to the Nordschleife. As we've got GT4 going slowly here, as GT4 involved in that incident not too long ago. Little dangerous there from them how they moved across the track there. Did have to check up a little bit to avoid them. We're just a little deep into this carousel. bit of understeer, had to lift over the throttle, make sure I didn't cut too much of that left-hand side curb. Much better run through the mini carousel there. A little wide there, just a little late to turn into right-hander coming onto the back straight. Looks like number 12 Fry has had a crash behind. Looks like that might have been with the 47. We see one of the cars in front, the number 11 McLaren, now heading for the pits. We're going to continue for one more lap, but we will need to pit at the end of what is now this lap, lap 6. To get that mandatory pit stop in before the pit window closes. The number 10 will have to serve that stop-go penalty before the end of the race. But looks like they're waiting to serve it a little later. Probably because they know they're going to get stuck in traffic when they do take it. Bit of a mistake there. GT3 behind us is only 5 seconds behind us now. So they should catch us before the end of the lap. Maybe about the midway point of the lap. But that should be the only car that we have to deal with. The 39 GT4 BMW should be far enough ahead for us to not catch them before we come into the pits to make our pit stop. GT3 Ferrari within a second of us now. We'll see what straight line speed they have. Run a little bit deep into that right-hander. GT3 just in an awkward position behind us. Not able to get past on that flat out section. Very difficult to make a move in that braking zone as the track just sort of twists, causing it to be single file. And as we've said all race long, this is where the GT3s are faster. Like, I have to set up the move or hope for a mistake. Not letting the Ferrari have it easy, because that would be boring. But yeah, just a little bit of slide under braking into the tightening left-hander. Allowed the Ferrari to get underneath us to the inside. I would say we cost them a few seconds there, just from them being stuck behind us. Which, if they're unlucky, will cost them a position when the top three come in for their pits stop, which they're doing so currently. Pit window closes with 2.5 minutes left in the race, so by the time we get around another lap, 8.5 minutes. Race time will have expired for us, but the race leaders will have maybe about a minute left. So we head into pit lane now. Making sure we get slowed down right. We'll add 2 litres of fuel just to be safe. There's our pit box. As mentioned, first in pit lane. Quick stop as we're only taking fuel and repairing a little bit of damage. Might as well repair the damage just to maximise our speed on track and minimise the chances of us getting past. Looks like isn't going to make a difference in terms of what position we come out on track. Very big gap here. And to be honest, a disappointingly big gap, I would say. So the only person we're really... Yeah, we're just in P7 taking it home. We've got faster cars in front of us. We've got 37 seconds to the car behind. We do have that number 10 McLaren, of course, that has to stake their stop-go penalty. They're 36 seconds in front, roughly. And the stop-go 30, I think, will cost them 65, 70 seconds. So it should put them back not too far in front of the number 2 BMW. So they'll still have to close 30 seconds on us. As we're getting close to 7 AM in game time. Sun is high enough in the sky now that it's not shining directly into our eyes anymore. While it did look very beautiful shining through the trees, it did make it a bit difficult in some corners. But we won't have to deal with that now. Of course, mentioning that it's 30 odd seconds, the car's behind us, or theoretically behind us, in the case of the McLaren with the stop-go. Repairing that damage won't make much of a difference. I'm thinking maybe half a second a lap for us. But obviously not taking tyres will just make this car even more slidey. Not that it wasn't slidey to begin with. And as we know from qualifying, the fastest people are able to go about 15 seconds a lap quicker than us. And that's when there isn't any tyre difference. So it is definitely possible for the GT3s. The race isn't quite over yet. But we're not under any immediate threat. The main thing for us is to keep it clean. Don't lose too much time from sliding the car about. Like that, just slightly deep in the braking zone. That leaves us by a second or two getting on the grass. There's that GT4 BMW in the relative. If we're lucky, it slowed up that number 10 McLaren up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't cost us too much time when we come to pass them, which we probably will do with the 1.5 laps remaining. Just running slightly wide onto the grass. Car took a very long time to settle down from the bumps. A little bit of a lock up there, just as the tires start to struggle. Leader starts the final lap. 42 seconds spare on the clock. Or maybe about 45 by the time my eyes were able to check the clock. Number 10 is in for the stop-go penalty. As we hurdle down the back straight here. Time has ran out for the race, but leader has started an additional lap. Just a little tap on the wall there. Minimal damage won't mean much. McLaren just leaving pit lane now. Gap looks to be about 15 seconds. Yes, just checking the wall is real, and it is indeed very real. I'm starting to struggle quite a bit with the brakes. That McLaren is a little closer than I would have liked to have been, so it does have a chance here. Gap about 13 seconds as we come onto the Nordschleife. See, that's already come down to about 12 seconds. We do have that GT4 not too far up ahead. Thank you for the encouragement. Could be a difficult balance this lap, trying to be aggressive, to be as quick as it can be, but not too aggressive that overstep the mark on these tires that are just getting quite worn now. Car sliding about a little bit more, not as effective on the brakes, not able to carry quite as much speed through some of these corners as they once were. BMW lets us through very kindly, so we don't lose any time there, but we have to assume they'll be just as kind to the GT3 behind. Gap's just under 9 seconds now. There they could not see that apex behind the sun. Just had to guess a little bit and hope I got it right, which I did, lucky enough. Gap is 8 seconds now. Gap's 6 seconds now, and this is where the GT3s can gain a lot of time on us after this carousel. Important that we got the carousel right this lap, which we did. Front left, just wanting to lock up there. This is going to be close. Gap's just over 3 seconds. Not long to go now.
Leader is finished the race.
Meanwhile, the leader takes a checkered flag. We should be able to hold on just over 2 seconds. We'll make sure we stay out of slipstream distance. Down this long straight. Gap's 1.5 seconds as we come on to the straight. Should outspeed the McLaren maybe. Looks like we do, just ever so slightly. Main thing is it isn't in our slipstream because we likely wouldn't be have the speed on it if it was. Now just get slowed down for the final couple of corners here. McLaren gets to within 1 second. They'll just be a little too late. And that'll be P6 overall. Final lap in 8:31.6, which isn't too bad on those old tires. I think that goes for a few donuts. And just save the replay. Oh, that was good. Just over 8 tenths in it at the end. It was a close battle for P3 there as well. Just under 2 tenths for the final podium position in the end. But oh, what a race. It seemed like when we came out of the pits there for the final couple of laps, it was going to be quite peaceful, but that penalty for the number 10 certainly made it interesting. We were still over 26 seconds ahead of the number 2 BMW behind us. And that 36 Ferrari was further 8 seconds behind them. But yeah, thank you, Iris. Oh, that was a very enjoyable race. Nice to have a clean race this time. Of course, the first week, I got quite messy. I made quite a few mistakes, and that was mostly on me. Last week, King got punted out of the way by someone, unfortunately. Give us quite a bit of damage. But yeah, this week, a couple of little contacts, which isn't any surprise, is to be completely expected. Completely expected around here with how bumpy and how tight circuit is at parts, especially for the cars we're racing. Definitely one or two tops were avoidable, but at least we got away with them. At least they didn't amount to anything. Yeah, the Ferrari there's saying they had 32 seconds of damage. Yeah, that explains the straight line speed. When you've got that much damage, yeah, you'll just you're definitely gonna struggle. Where did they finish up in the end? I think, did they leave server? And they might have yeah, it looks like they've left the server already. Um, but yeah, it was funny to get back past them on the straight. Um, I'm glad they enjoyed the battle. Um, you never know with people in those situations. They think they're in a faster car, and sometimes people get frustrated with that if they're unable to get past. But some people, definitely the people you want to see, just really enjoying the fight and the challenge that this track presents in passing cars that quite similar in pace. Um, it is only a couple, 2 or 3 seconds a lap when it comes to your average length track. Of course, Nordschleife, very long track, so it is makes things a little bit more difficult. Um, uh, I'm not seeing the Ferrari here. I think it was the 51 Ferrari, if I remember correctly. I'm not seeing them here. If I go back here, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Not seeing them. In the menu there. Although looking at these sort of times, which the times in ACC, the chat times are glitched out. They don't display properly. Um, it looks like they sent that a little while ago. Because these messages seem to be within a couple of minutes, whereas that one was like half an hour ago. So, well, actually, I suppose we can find out that in the replay. If we go here, 51. Yeah, there's the 51 there. I take it. They maybe just parked it there. Yep, they parked it there. So that's what happened to them. Shame for them to see them not see the race through to the end. It is something, especially this community, the Onid community that we're racing in tonight. I'd like to see. I like to see people see races through to the end. Don't like seeing sort of retiring and rage quitting. Sometimes it is the best thing if you're just not in the right space, especially around a track like this. It's very challenging. Very challenging, very demanding mentally and physically. The bumps do throw the wheel around a bit. So it is a challenge, and if you are just fatigued and struggling, it can maybe be the better thing to just back out, say, right, that's it. Maybe it's not quite safe to have you on, and you're not enjoying yourself, or of course health reasons, like if you've got a bad headache or in pain, something like that, of course. So yeah, that is that race. As always, we're going to finish off stream with the Art of Rally stages for today and this week. So we'll get that loaded up now. Get the controller out. Yeah, Bathurst. Yeah, Bathurst, my favourite track. Um, yeah, I mean, Bathurst and Nordschleife do share. They are similar in a way, in terms of very little or effectively no room for error in spots. I would say Bathurst is certainly a little tighter in that aspect because the walls are right up against the edge of the circuit. Whereas you've got little patches of grass which do tend to save you a little bit at the Nordschleife, but it is just relentless through some of those sections, especially from the carousel to the long straight. It's just corner after corner. You get half a second rests between some of the corners, but it really isn't long. Um, but the track just flows really well. Um, going from corner to corner to corner, just full concentration. Uh, they're not slow speed corners too. You're carrying good momentum through them. You really get to feel the limit of the car. Um, Run it up to the curbs. It's really satisfying when you get it right. And yes, so they're both the tracks, Bathurst and Abergwaun, are tracks that really demand a lot of drivers and really separate um, the experienced drivers from the inexperienced, confident from the unconfident. And yeah, it really allows the drivers to make a difference. Um, the difference, the Porsche Cup car with the less downforce it has should definitely be slower around the Nordschleife than GT3s, and you see that with the top times. Yet, you know, because the track is so demanding, a good driver in the Cup car, like myself, can mix it up with the GT3s um, that aren't as experienced, aren't as confident, and that's one of the reasons I like going for the Cup car. It gets me racing against people that aren't normally on the same pace level as me, and I always like that challenge. Um, Sort of the same as when you do reverse grids, or not reverse grids, or just start from the back of the grid, or like partial reverse grids. I should say, you know, you just end up can race people of different skill levels than you, and if it's the case of um, a faster driver trying to get past a slower driver, you can still get good battles in that regard. Um, I definitely have myself, in sort of the races where I've started from the back of the grid. So yeah, but yeah, very, very enjoyable race. Kiki-sen, definitely not in the definitely in the not confident category. Yeah, I mean, it's very easy not to have confidence around a track like that, to be consistent over the bumps. Um, like a millimeter different track positioning could just and with result in the car reacting differently to the bumps just because of the different positioning. Um, and that can really break confidence if you're not ready for it. And in those when the car does slide around, does bounce around in ways that just differ slightly lap from lap. You need a lot of experience to be able to know how to control the car in those circumstances. Because you don't get a lot of time to think about what you're going to do. You just have to have an instinct reaction. And you don't have an instinct reaction when you're just starting racing. You only get it by doing a lot of racing and building up the experience, having the mistakes and learning from them ultimately. Um, so yeah, enough about Nordschleife. Um, let's get on for the daily stage for Art of Rally. We're in the Group S car, it looks like, for a 3.5 mile stage here in Kenya. We'll see if this is one of the more technical stages of Kenya or if it's one of the more faster and more demanding circuit stages. Stage is going quite well so far. It's not one of the high speed, high commitment stages. It's not super technical, it's just sort of a nice middle ground. Very fun stage. We'll come out to complete in 2 minutes 12 dead. 2:12 exactly. Very satisfying. That puts us 25th on the leaderboard in the top 10%. Not too bad. We've certainly been higher on the leaderboards before, so not amazing, but still pretty decent. Can be happy with that. We'll move on to the weekly event now. 4 more stages lie ahead. Let's see what class we're in. Group 2 this time, also at Kenya, starting with a 5.9 miles stage here. Looks like we're in a Porsche. So I'm expecting a difficult car to tame here, one that just wants to sort of pendulum around with the weight distribution. Of course, engine will be in the rear, as is usual for these Porsches. And being rear-wheel drive as well will not help those traction issues when trying to get the power down, and the rear end, rear tires already sliding. Especially difficult to control the weight transfer when you're trying to get good change of direction from the car. It's been a good start to this stage so far. Car doesn't feel as bad as I feared it would, but does still have a hint of those characteristics I was talking about. They're definitely there, just not to the extent that I imagined. Not a great run through that chicane technically, but just slightly out of position going into it. But we got through it, which is the main thing. Judging that corner quite well. Nearly overdoing it there. Was a little bit worried I might have rolled the car off the bank. Very close to hitting that rock on the outside there. One of the difficulties of going from a high class like the Group S cars to these lower classes is there just isn't as much grip, so you go into corners, it's very easy to... Oh, that's really annoying. Just to finish my point there, it's very easy to overestimate how much grip the car has and how much speed you can carry through it. Cars just don't have the same grip, not as responsive as well. Just unfortunately got a bad landing off the jump, sort of spat the car to the left into the rock. Puts us 71st after that stage, top 15%. Here we're going to be a little bit down the order with that incident. We've got now a 6.7 mile stage. A little bit painful here, because we probably are carrying a little bit of damage. We hit that rock quite hard. And to carry that damage through 6.7 miles isn't ideal. Running at nighttime for this stage, which isn't too bad. Nighttime conditions a little more difficult in those faster cars that we were talking about, since you have just a little bit less time, or you're going that bit faster, and you really need sort of the visibility to, through the high speed sections, just to be able to see where you're going, be able to set the car up for the corners in time. Here, these slower cars, you're not going as quickly, you don't need the same amount of time to react, so it's not too difficult. Sneaky wee hairpin there. Just gotta be careful through that chicane as you enter it, coming over a crest, making it very easy to overshoot. This car's just light, won't want to slow down and turn into the corner. So we took it easy, took it cautiously, and got through quite well. Quite a few deceptive tightening radius corners on this stage so far. Very easy to commit to one of the corners, thinking it's quite open, quite fast, and then find out halfway through that, oh, it tightens up quite a bit, and find yourself spearing off the stage. Stage knowledge will be quite useful in this stage because of that. If you know a corner tightens up, you'll know not to carry too much speed into it, but we'll still know just how much speed you can carry into the corners. Whereas people that don't know the stage may either, as I say, make a mistake, fly off the track, off the stage, or they'll just be overly cautious into some of the corners, losing a bit of time that way. I, for one, only doing these daily and weekly events. I'm not even doing all of them, just doing some of them. Don't remember the stages that well. They sort of come back to mind as I'm running them, but not in the sense of, oh, I remember what's coming up. So decent run through that stage, 428.7. Gets us up to 32nd, that's a big jump. And that's a good jump up to top 10% as well now, so that's confidence inspiring for the next two stages. 2.7 mile stage next, so a bit short. We'll see what damage we have to repair. Yeah, gearbox damage. So that'll make our gear shifts a little bit quicker will save us a little bit of time. So thankfully wouldn't have lost us too much time in that previous stage. Maybe a second over the whole stage if I had to give it a guess. But it'll certainly just be useful for the remainder of the rally. Few jumps to start this stage off. Thankfully, the car takes them better than it did a couple of stages ago when we found that rock. This looks to be one of the higher speed, high commitment stages. Just about keeping it on the island there. Just trying to maximise the speed we could have carried through that corner. Definitely lost a little bit sliding out wide. Game does slow you down a bit if you're not on the road exactly. Into the final few corners, a little technical section to end this stage off. There'll be a 127.3, hopefully that's a good run. Once a day gets us up to 26th, jumps us up to the top 5%. Doesn't seem quite right when 32nd was top 10%, but we'll take that. So definitely a good stage there. Now we've got the longest stage in Kenya, 7.4 mile stage. A couple of water splashes in this one, I remember. The jumps do have me a little bit worried from that first stage. Yeah, we're coming up to this left-hander. You've got to be very precise with that rock on the inside. We give it a wide berth that time, but ideally you want to get as close as you can to that rock without hitting it. Just allows you to carry a little more speed through the corner. But of course, big consequences if you do hit the rock. Just using the clutch to help get the car out of the slower speed corners. When we're not quite in the power band of the engine. It's been a clean run through so far, not perfect, but we'll definitely take what we've had so far. Coming up to the water splashes now. This is the first one. Very long water splash. The second one's not too far up ahead, it's much shorter. You can see it's just past those few corners that we've seen on the left hand side. So we come through this left-hander here, into this square right, which slows you down quite a bit, and then through the water splash. And we continue on our way towards the end of the stage. Judging that left-hander pretty well. Yeah, you gotta be careful there. There's a jump that's quite difficult to see with the camera perspective, but makes it very easy to just fall off the stage. There's little parts of the stages like that that you do just remember because they catch you out a couple of times and then you remember, oh yeah, that part caught me out, so I need to be careful the next time you come up onto it. But that's going to be it for this stage at 4:32.8. Finishes it off and gets us up into 23rd. Still in the top 5%. That's not bad going. 4 seconds off of 20 seconds. Yeah, maybe could have had a couple of places if we didn't hit that rock in the first stage. But other than that, it was a very clean run, very good run. We'll have a when we get back to the main menu here, we'll have a check, see how we did last week. Fortunately, we can't check how we did on the daily event last week, but we can check the weekly event. We finished 21st, top 3%, so did very well last week. Previous week was 29th in top 5%, so we didn't do as well as we did last week, but we did a little bit better than the week before, should we not drop 6 places, or more than 6 places, I should say. So yeah, we'll have to check back on that next week to see how that is. And speaking of next week, let's head back to full screen here. Let me just check the time. It's 3 minutes past 10 here in the UK. Next week streams. We may have a couple of streams. We'll have the final Nordschleife race on ACC for this sort of this weekly series for April. Sort of celebrating the launch of the Nordschleife on ACC. Hopefully we'll get rain. I'll just have a little look at the settings for next week, and if anything, we can actually we'll bring them up. Yeah, I can show everything here. So this is next week's event. Currently 55 people signed up for it, so hopefully we see most, if not everyone, joining. You know, given the weeks so far, that is very doubtful. You can see here the weather settings. Weather randomness 1. The weather randomness for today's event was 3. So that does mean we're much more likely to get the settings that you see here. Cloud level 0.2, that is quite on the low side, but rain level 0.1. So not a lot of rain there. Rain will be on the light side, which should be good. Means less spray, which is a good thing. You know, people are struggling with FPS and performance, PC performance enough as it is. We don't want too much spray; that'll only make it more difficult. That will also, you know, given we were only about 45 seconds away from the race being 1 lap shorter. You know, rain could really bring the race down to a 7 lap race, which would be interesting. Make things a little bit easier on everyone, but the rain making things a little bit difficult to begin with. Yeah, a different challenge for sure. But we should also, if I go to my events here, we should also have a couple of other uh, races at the Nordschleife in this Uno Turbo. On the original sale course, this is, of course, we've got 13 people signed up for this. A very challenging car. I think we did run this on stream a few months ago. Um, Very challenging car, very difficult car to get to grips with. So it's going to be a lot of fun around the Nordschleife. That'll be a big challenge. So we'll have a couple of, I believe these are 25-minute races around the Nordschleife next week. So yes, we have that to look forward to. Um, but yeah, that's going to do it for this stream. Thank you everyone that stopped by. Iris, Emmy, Geeky, Ren, and Slash, and of course anyone else that might have been lurking throughout the stream. Hopefully I'll see you for the 2 streams we have next week. But if not, I'll see you whenever next. But until then, goodbye and take care.